Krishna, thank you very much, Shilan Prabhu. Thank you, Snail Prabhu, for facilitating, and thank you to all of you for attending. It's a real honor to be with you all today. I'm going to. Oh, I didn't share my screen yet. I'm just going to. So today the topic is going to be Japa and how we can improve in our Japa practice. There you go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I have to say it's a real honor, privilege to be with all of you progressive UK devotees. Let's begin today with a slightly uncomfortable thought. Most devotees do not fall away from Krishna in one dramatic moment. More often, the relationship slowly becomes thin and becomes thin in the most sacred daily place, our rounds, our japa practice. The beads remain in the hand. The lips keep moving. The number still gets completed. But somewhere, the heart learns how to be absent. And yet, this is also the most hopeful place in our spiritual life. Because if the problem is being repeated every morning, the solution can also be repeated every morning. We don't need a new philosophy. We don't need a new mantra. We need to return to the mantra we already received. But we want to bring our body, so the better body approach, a clearer mind, a more available heart, and a deeper dependence on mercy. So this is what I mean by a japa quantum leap. Not a cheap shortcut, not some artificial emotions that we're going to manufacture, not a performance. A quantum leap means a real shift in the system that produces our japa. So today in this 1 hour Zoom session, I want to introduce a framework which I call the 4 gates. These gates will help us diagnose where our japa is leaking, where it's lacking, and what we can do immediately to improve the attention leaks and so on. Part 2 will be a multi-hour in-person workshop, 4 hours, where we'll slow everything down. We'll practice together in person. We'll address frequently asked questions, and we'll apply the principles we've learned directly on our beads. But tonight is the map. If we receive the map seriously, tomorrow morning's japa can already be different. And that's what we want to do. We want immediate benefit. So many practicing devotees are not beginners. We know the theology. We know the importance of nama. We know that Srila Prabhupada gave us 16 rounds as the sacred minimum amount. The problem often is not ignorance. We know everything. The problem is a habituated absence of the mind and the heart. We have learned how to keep the japa going while the inner person goes somewhere else. We can chant and plan, can chant and review conversations. We can chant and check messages. We can chant and mentally rehearse our grievances. We can chant and mentally solve our problems. Outwardly, the hand is on the beads. Inwardly, the soul is in 100 different rooms of the palace of our mind. That is why I want to define a bad japa habit carefully. It's not just a mistake. It's a repeated way of keeping Krishna at the edge of consciousness while still completing the count. It's a compromise that becomes familiar. And because it is familiar, we stop feeling the loss. The good news is that habits can be unlearned, bad habits. It can be undone. But they're not unlearned just by guilt. No, I just can't guilt trip you into feeling, you're awful. No, they're unlearned by replacing them with better systems, better attention, better emotional orientation, and better sense of dependence. That is the purpose of the 4 gates. This series is a 2-part journey. So tonight on Zoom, we are not trying to do everything. I want to give you, like I said, a framework that is simple enough to remember and deep enough to use for years. We will identify the 4 gates through which good japa enters our life. We'll also identify the bad habits that block these gates. Part 2 is different. This will be a 4-hour workshop. There we can do what Zoom cannot do very well. We can sit together. We can observe. We can feel the energy together. We can chant guided rounds. We can pause. We can refine. We can discuss the frequently asked questions, that come from years of devotees honestly wrestling with the holy name. But please do not think that I'll wait for part 2 to improve. No. Tonight must give us enough to act tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning can already change. The purpose of a good framework is that it changes behavior immediately. At the end of the session, each of us should know how one physical adjustment, one mental adjustment, one emotional adjustment, one surrender adjustment can be brought. We can bring this into our rounds, into our next round. So here is the basic framework of the 4 gates. The first gate is physical alignment. We are embodied souls. We have been given this body. The body can either assist the prayer or sabotage it. Posture, breath, voice, handling of the beads, the place where you sit, the timing, all matter because they create the vessel that holds the attention. That's the first gate. Then we see ourselves moving. Second gate. Second gate is the mind and intellect. The mind will not become still just because we tell it to be still. We know that from experience. The mind must be trained, and the intelligence must understand what we're doing, why the sound matters, what is the sound we're producing, and how to bring back the mind without too much drama. As we move along, the third gate is heartfelt emotions. Japa is not merely concentration on the sound. The holy name is a person. We're calling out to Radha and Krishna. It's a calling. Radhe, that's Hare means Radhe. Therefore the heart has to come. What are these feelings? What are these emotions that I can tap into, that I can use to infuse my mood? Can I pretend to just love Krishna? No, that's not a pretension. These are genuine, heartfelt feelings. Gratitude, for example. Remorse for having wasted time. A sense of longing or affection. Sense of humility. These are not decorations. They are part of the life of prayer. Our acharyas teach these feelings in their bhajans. And the fourth gate. The fourth gate, in one sense, is beyond our control. It's where the door handle is on the other side. Krishna controls that. It's the gate of mercy, the gate of surrender and mercy. This is where we stop trying to control the situation. We stop trying to control the holy name and start begging to be received by the holy name, to be invited by the holy name. We do our best. But we know that to get the real taste for chanting is a gift from the Lord, and we have to wait for Him to give it to us. That sense of patience as we are surrendering, as we wait for the mercy, that is the fourth gate. When our japa is weak, usually one or more of these gates is closed. So this framework helps us stop making vague complaints like, my japa is bad. Start asking, which gate needs attention? Be more specific and targeted. The question is not, did I finish? The question is, through which gate did I enter? This framework helps us bring the whole person to surrender to Krishna. So going to gate number 1. The first gate is physical alignment. Sometimes devotees think that because bhakti is beyond matter, physical details do not matter. But that's not how sadhana works. We use matter in Krishna's service, and the body can become an instrument of remembrance. For japa, the body should quietly say, this moment matters. If I slump over, if I'm just whispering lazily, if I drift around and handle the beats casually, I've already given the mind permission to treat the round as unimportant. Srila Prabhupada famously says in his japa recording twice, sit properly. That's important. So the first improvement is simple. Sit or stand with dignity. Let the spine be straight. Let it be awake. Let the chest be open enough for breath. Let the face soften. Chant audibly enough that your ears can receive the mantra. The ears are not spectators. They are the doorway. And handle the beads with care. In our tradition, of course, we keep the pointing finger away from beads. That's part of our tradition, but that's telling you that this is something special. So the way we even treat our beads, it's a relationship. We treat sacred things in a sacred way because our body is training the heart. So immediate practice tomorrow. Choose one full round where the only focus is physical excellence. Posture is straight. Sound is clear. You're producing it clearly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You're not slurring it and producing some other words. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. I've heard that sometimes. You're calling a cat. Not good. Hey mama, hey mama. No. Let's be mindful of what we're saying and say it clearly. You're calling out to somebody. Breathe. Watch your breath. Respect the beads. Sit in a sacred space where it's clean. Take a shower. Wake up early. All these things matter. So if you sit in a peaceful place that's sacred, ideally either in your temple room or in front of Tulsi Devi, or just in any clean space in the house where you can sit comfortably without being disturbed. Remember, the idea is not to be so relaxed that you'll fall asleep. Relaxation is not the point here. We're talking about relative comfort and peace, where you can still show by your body language that you are here to receive the Lord with grace and graciousness. That's why posture really matters, because you're saying something to the Lord. You're saying something to your own mind. And the place you choose tells your mind something special happens here. All these things matter. Of course, there's no hard and fast rules, but these things really help, and therefore they matter. Don't evaluate some kind of mystical experience tomorrow. Just repair our vessel. Sit up straight. Little things go a long way. That's the first gate. It's not very difficult. Before conquering the mind, stop making the body your enemy. Because we have a long way to go now. We have to do the mind next. The second gate is the mind and intellect. Here, many devotees become discouraged. We think, my mind went away, therefore my japa failed. That's not exactly true. The mind going away is the condition of the conditioned soul. The training happens. We're training the mind. The training happens when we notice and we return. So every time you bring back the mind, you're not failing. It is an act of bhakti. It's an opportunity to show Krishna, no, I came back, my Lord. It's a training. You're training. The failure is not that the mind wanders. The failure is when the mind wanders and I stop caring. So practical method is to name the drift. Not with hatred, but with clarity. Planning. No, it's not the time for planning. Replaying a conversation. No, don't do this. Resentment. That's what it is, a phone hunger. No, let it go. Once you name it, it loses some of its spell, some of its grip. And then return intentionally to the sound. The goal is to focus on the sound. Embrace the sound with your mind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then you bring your mind back to the first Hare of the next mantra. Just visualize your mind coming back and falling obeisances at that H-A-R-E. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hear the sound. The focus is only the name, no other thing. We don't need to add layers of stuff. Focus only on the sound. When the mind wanders, return to the sound. When you find it's wandering, no problem. This is not about self-condemnation. Don't give yourself a long internal lecture. Just return to the sound. 。 the intelligence we use to keep the meaning alive. Before we start chanting, align your intelligence, remind yourself. And I'm not saying during chanting, before you start chanting. Krishna is here in his name. Yeah, we know it, but a reminder definitely helps, like a meaningful reminder. This Hare Krishna is not a sonic blur. It is a call for service. O energy of the Lord, O Lord, please engage me in your service. Even if we cannot feel this fully, the intelligence can hold the meaning like a lamp in the room. So really a powerful practice is to shorten the leash. Sometimes you have a dog, it's on a leash, you got to shorten it. Don't let it go too far. Don't say, I will be attentive for 16 rounds. No, that's too much. Your mind will give up right away. You say, no, I'll be attentive for one mantra. Then you say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. I'll be attentive next mantra too. Then you be attentive for one mantra, one bead, one return. Then again, and then again. This makes attention possible. It may seem very heavy at first in the sense of doing this again and again, but you will feel so much bliss because now you're feeling the reciprocation of the Lord. Wow, my dear child, you're actually trying to face me. You're actually trying to connect with me. And then you'll feel the presence of the Lord. You'll feel the reciprocation. And that fills you with so much energy. The end of your 16 rounds, you want to do more. You feel more energized. You don't feel like it's a drag. You don't feel a sense of relief, oh, it's over. But you just want more and more. Because you paid attention. And when Krishna gives us attention back, it energizes us. Guaranteed, you'll feel it. The third gate is heartfelt emotion. This is very important for progressive devotees because we can become extremely disciplined and still remain emotionally unavailable. We can know everything and still chant like we are reading a meter or something. Japa is not only concentration, it is address, it's a calling. We are not concentrating on an object, we are calling a person. Yes, of course, you have to concentrate on the sound, but there's a feeling to it too. The heart must enter. There are 4 emotions that I often recommend devotees bring into their heart space before starting their japa. Why should we focus on these emotions? Because we want to love Krishna, but we don't have love for Krishna just yet. However, we have other emotions that are love adjacent. These emotions are stepping stones to love. So the first one I urge you to consider is gratitude. Thanking Krishna. Krishna, you still let me chant. After all my distractions and inconsistency, you have not taken away this mercy. Thank you, my Lord. Today you gave me the chance to chant even though I've been so poor at it. We can be grateful for so many other things. Another one is remorse or regret. My Lord, I've wandered around. I've misused my mind. I've misused my speech. But I want to return. I want to be yours. That sense of remorse of having wasted our lives. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gavayo. My dear Lord, I've fruitlessly wasted this human form of life not having worshipped you. Third is a feeling of longing. Or you can say you appreciate someone, you long for them, So this feeling of longing and appreciation. I don't have enough appreciation, my Lord. Let me want you. Let me appreciate you more. So, and fourth is affection. My Lord, you're so beautiful, and I do have a soft spot for you, but it's not nearly strong enough. This is my daily meeting with Krishna, and let me bring my affection to the table. Of course, these emotions should not be forced theatrically. It's not a performance. We're not trying to manufacture tears. But we can make the heart honest. Sometimes one sincere sentence before a round can change the entire atmosphere of that round, of our heart. So try this tomorrow. Before one round, pause for 10 seconds and say, Krishna, I am here. I don't know how to chant properly like you really want me to, but I want to be here with you. Wake up a little extra early. Take a refreshing shower. Bring your A game. And pray to the Lord before you start. Just for a few seconds. Just pray with your genuine emotions. Your genuine feeling. Honestly. Your full honesty. Then you chant the round as a response to that honest prayer. Dear Lord, I want to be here with you today. Please help me. And then immediately when you start it around, it'll be different. And that's the goal of bringing in some heartfelt emotions. Srila Prabhupada talks about these heartfelt emotions quite a bit in his purports, in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then the fourth gate. The fourth gate is surrender and mercy. This gate protects us from two extremes. One extreme is laziness. What is the laziness? I'll just wait for mercy and not discipline myself. The other extreme which you want to avoid is a sense of control. If I perfect the method, if I master it, if I become a master, I can force spiritual taste to appear on command. One is laziness and one is sense of extreme control. Bhakti is neither laziness nor control. It is disciplined helplessness. Sounds like an unusual pairing of words. Disciplined helplessness. But it means I show up fully, I bring everything at my command to come to your doorstep, and then I beg and depend on you completely. So for me to come to your door, I need to be disciplined to bring myself to your door. But at your door, my Lord, I depend on your mercy. You can choose to open it or not. I have nowhere else to go. Where else am I going to go? This is where I belong. At the doorstep of the fourth gate. We cannot manufacture taste. We cannot command Krishna to appear in the mind. But we can remove some obstacles. We can stop insulting the holy name with our negligence. We can reduce distractions as far as possible. We can chant with a mood of service mood. And we can beg. You can't be begging, heartfelt, sincerely begging while chanting and also scrolling on the phone. It's not possible. You have to beg, which means no distractions. This is why the mood of japa is not that I am now performing a technique. The mood is that I am approaching mercy, the source of all mercy. Not that I deserve the mercy, but I've heard this is where it's found, it's being handed out. I've come here to get some of that. And I've heard that the Lord is giving it out even to undeserving people like me. That's why I'm here. So the mood is I'm approaching the mercy. Krishna, please let me serve. Srimati Radharani, please recommend me. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please keep me connected to the holy name. Please help me understand more. That's the helplessness that we want. You should know what we cannot do and what we should do, what we can do. I cannot manufacture taste, but I can remove offenses, I can remove distractions. I can beg for the service mood. And I can have this trust. We must trust that the name is doing deeper work than we can measure. Some days may feel dry, tasteless, but if we come honestly, we show up. We have to show up every day. The holy name is purifying layers that we may not be able to understand. But we can trust the name is powerful and it's working. So faith, the Shraddha, the faith, means that we continue to show up at the door of mercy. That's our job. That's why we promise at initiation to do 16 rounds every day without fail. That is the one promise of what we said we're going to do. We're going to avoid sinful activities, but what are we going to do? Doing is one thing, that's it. Chanting these rounds. Initiation, we don't promise to offer deity worship, although it's nice to do that. We don't promise to distribute 20 books every day the rest of my life. No. Of course, we should do as much as you can. Book distribution, deity worship, cleaning the temple, going out and preaching, developing programs, cooking. But we don't make those promises in the initiation. The only promise is I'm going to do 16 rounds. Because that's the most important thing. The holy name. The holy name is not controlled by technique, but these techniques prepare our hearts, they prepare our mindset to beg. We have to come with the right heart. So here are 7 habits to unlearn. These are practical because a habit cannot be defeated just by disliking a habit. Habit is very hard to erase. A habit is displaced by a better habit. Like a bad habit is displaced by a better habit. The first habit, bad habit, is rushing to finish. So how do you change that? You replace that habit with one deliberately slower round. Slow down. Just one. You may not slow all 16 immediately, but choose one round, maybe the first one, where you refuse to let the speed dominate your consciousness. What's the rush? Just slow down and focus on the sound. Focus on the sound. Let the sound be fully absorbed. Forget anything else. See, that's important. You want to slow down to let it seep in. See. Second, chanting after digital pollution. Yeah, that's a word, that's a thing. Digital pollution. If the first thing the mind receives is messages and Facebook and other social media updates and things, conflict and stimulation and so on, then what happens, our japa is beginning with the mind that's already crowded. So replace this with phone outside the japa zone. Take the phone, put it outside the japa zone. There's a japa zone, but the phone don't belong here, so put it away. Third, sometimes some people have this habit, not everybody, but some people do. It's a silent lip movement where the lips are moving but there's no sound coming out. If you have this issue, replace it with audible self-hearing. If you didn't hear the sound, you can say it didn't count. Hear it. This way the sound energy, the spiritual sound vibration makes it to our heart, through our ears. Okay. Fourth, rounds as leftover time. In other words, we're not prioritizing rounds in the morning. So we leave it to the last thing of the day, or I'll get to it later. Replace it with the protected first energy. You know the first energy we have in the morning? Especially we should wake up earlier than the sun rises. That's a nice time before the sun rises. As much hours we can get before sunrise, we get a very good positive sattvic energy we can put into that. So give it the protected status. Give the Lord the protected, the part of the day where you're still capable of offering attention, full attention. Then fifth, emotional numbness. Yeah, just dry, zero feeling, nothing. That's okay. Replace it with one honest prayer, one honest heartfelt prayer before you start the round. I'm not saying start praying during the round. That's not the point. I've said it several times. Before you start the round, you say a prayer to get yourself honestly aligned with the Lord. Because when you're saying a prayer, you acknowledge that the person is in front of you. The moment you acknowledge he's with you, then you can start chanting. See? That's important. So you pray. But once you start chanting, then you don't start making other prayers. At that point, you just focus your full mind, intelligence, your full consciousness on the sound itself. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to visualize, imagine, compose, even if it's spiritual things. Just focus completely on the sound with your ears. 6, there's an all or nothing guilt. We tend to be expert at that. Unless I'm doing 100%, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do a half-hearted round, so I don't even chant. All the time I chanted, every beat, my mind was running all over the place. So what's the point? No. We replace that all or nothing guilt with repeated gentle returns. Okay, I missed 1 or 2 beats, no problem. But now I'm going to get back in the space of returning my mind back to each Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. It's the first Hare. You give the emphasis to bring back the mind. See? The gentle return, each mantra is its own unit of bhakti, unit of love. It's in like ahuti, oblation that you put in the fire. Everything is a discrete piece. It's a gift that you're offering, like a flower. And then 6, okay, we already did 6. The 7th is a casual bead handling. Where we're just throwing it around, the beads and all that. So replace it with proper tulsi respect. Proper fingers and so on, clean placement. So let's not be casual about these things. These are some habits we can unlearn. The point is not to feel overwhelmed. Choose just one pattern today, replace it tomorrow. Just one, focus on one. Don't try to do all 7. And maybe some of these don't pertain to you. But these are some habits that we may want to consider unlearning if they are bothering us. So here is a practical assignment for the next 7 days after part 1. Today's part 1. So you're going to start doing it right away. Begin each Japa session with 60 seconds of preparation. Not 10 minutes, not a complicated ritual. Just 1 minute, 60 seconds. What is that? Sit properly, put the phone away, offer a heartfelt prayer, decide which gate you're emphasizing today. Then pick one anchor round daily. One gate. One round, one gate. This is important. If all 16 rounds feel too much to transform at once, choose one round that represents the new standard, our new golden round. During that round, you apply the framework consciously. Maybe Monday is a physical alignment. Tuesday is mind and intellect. Wednesday is heartfelt emotion. And Thursday, surrender and mercy. Then you repeat. This is just the beginning. After that, what's going to happen when you get better at it? The moment you pick up the beats, your body automatically aligns and you immediately absorb and embrace the sound with your heart and with your mind, and you immediately feel some emotion and start offering it. You place yourself in the right emotional space and you immediately start begging while you're chanting. All that happens within seconds. But right now, because this framework is a little new, let's do one gate at a time. One gate per day until you get the hang of it. You repeat the cycle. Track one gate, not every detail. If tracking gets too complicated, it becomes another burden. So just keep one at a time. Just note, which gate did I work on? What helped? What blocked? See? So you have to focus on one gate at a time. And then end with one sentence of gratitude. Krishna, thank you for letting me chant. Because now you see, every time you offer gratitude, your mind becomes lighter, your heart becomes sweeter. I mean, think about someone who offered gratitude to you, how sweet you'll feel toward them. People don't like ungrateful people. You did something for somebody and they don't express any gratitude at all. But if someone keeps telling how appreciative they are of very specific things you did for them, you'll want to do more for them. So similarly, if we're grateful to Krishna for this opportunity to chant, and if we could focus on a few mantras, you can thank Krishna that today out of 108, I focused on 12 or something like I felt like it's like 12 or 15. Thank you, Krishna. Please let me do more. Then Krishna gives you that because he wants you to be there. So even if the rounds were imperfect, the gratitude keeps the relationship alive. Then we bring our observations to part 2, which is next week. The workshop, the hands-on workshop, will be much more powerful if devotees come with real data from their own chanting. So between now and then, please try to apply these gates sincerely, as much as you can. Make notes of what worked, what didn't work. Make notes of where you ran into a wall. Make notes of things that were fantastic. And then let's come and share next week when we get together for part 2. What's going to happen in part 2? This is a 4-hour in-person workshop. The mood will be less like a lecture and more like a laboratory. Laboratory. We will chant together. We will pause. We will discuss what happened. And then we'll address obstacles honestly. One of the most important things in part 2 will be guided Japa labs. For example, one round may focus on posture, voice, and hearing. So we'll do either one round or half a round or something. Really, really focus and apply it. Another one may focus on bringing the wandering mind back. And then another one will focus on developing a sense of gratitude or longing or remorse or, really bringing the feeling of the heart. And then another may focus on the 4th gate of surrender. So when devotees experience the difference in real time, the framework becomes real. We'll also do this diagnostics and repair. Why do I get sleepy? Why do I speed up so much? Why does it become a blur? Why do I lose taste? Why is it becoming robotic? There's a question even in the chat right now. Sometimes we can go into robotic mode where we don't even hear what we're saying or hearing. How can this be stopped? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Because we zone out because our mind is attracted to something else instead. Why do I feel guilty? So much guilt that I don't feel like chanting anymore. What do I do when grief or anger or anxiety overwhelms my mind and enters my japa. Because, these are real things in life that we have to deal with. Heavy stuff happens to us, okay? This is not a theoretical thing. This is real. How do I deal with those heavy worries? How do I chant when life is just overwhelming? So these questions need space. They need some sensitivity. They need some depth of discussion. It's beyond the scope of this discussion. But we'll get into them. And of course, we'll address some of the frequently asked questions over years of teaching this seminar. This particular Four Gates framework I've been teaching since 2008. It's about, which is that, 18 years? About 18 years or so. And over the years, I've heard so many questions. So we'll discuss some of these questions. And you can bring up your own questions as well. So the goal is not to create an artificial perfection. The goal is to help sincere devotees like yourself to become more present, more prayerful, and more hopeful in the relationship with the Holy Name. What can we do tomorrow, right away? We talked about the Four Gates. Sit up straight, give it full attention, sit in a clean place, pronounce the names very clearly, hear them with attention, breathe, keep your head up. And the second gate is engage your intelligence to remind yourself first, Krishna is here. He's here in his form of his holy name. So give it full attention. And then engage your mind and intelligence to fully embrace the sound. Only the sound and nothing else. Keep bringing, if the mind wanders, keep bringing it back to the first Hare. Let each mantra be its unique, discrete offering. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The sound is Krishna, the sound of the name. And then, of course, before you chant the japa, find a mood to get into, a genuine mood. Because remember, we're always in some mood or another. You cannot be moodless. It's not possible. So get into a right mindset, mood. What is a mindset I want to be in? Let me saturate my heart space with gratitude first. And then chant. See the difference. Even remorse is such a powerful thing. But Lord, I can't believe I wasted so many years. You look at even now the tendency to turn away from you. Gosh, please help me. Then you start chanting while still holding on to that mood. It's powerful. Or you appreciate how beautiful the Lord is. See? So, that's what we want to do tomorrow. These are the things we learn. So I want to close today with gratitude. I want to thank you to all the devotees in the UK and all the other devotees around the world who have gathered here, who are taking this subject seriously. I want to thank the School of Bhakti who has put this together. I want to thank Snehal Prabhu, Shilayan Prabhu for facilitating. There are many topics we can discuss, many services we can organize, and many plans we can make. But if our japa becomes thin, the roots of everything else, right, dries up. When the holy name becomes alive again, service becomes nourished again. Relationships, we can kick away any obstacles in our relationships. They become softer again, more meaningful. We become more forgiving because we see things in perspective. We feel the presence of the Lord in our lives when we chant properly. And because we experience His reciprocation. And you can experience it right now. As soon as this class is over, do one round with this 4 gates and let me know if it didn't work. The Lord is just eager to reciprocate. It's just that we have so habituated to neglecting the mercy. Let's do it properly. When we chant properly, our faith becomes more resilient again. So please don't leave this session thinking, I heard another class on Japa. No, leave thinking that tomorrow morning I have an appointment. Return to the sacred appointment. Krishna will again meet me on my beads. Srimati Radharani's mercy will again be available because I'm calling out to her. Srila Prabhupada's gift and Srila Prabhupada's merciful hand will be on my head, and his gift will be in my hands and in my heart. Let's not send only our lips to that meeting. Let us come ourselves fully. Let the body come with respect. Let the mind come back again and again and again. Let the heart come with honesty, and let the soul come with a sense of begging and dependence. We brought the soul and the heart and the mind and the intelligence and the body, everything. We've given everything at this point. Now, my Lord, I'm knocking at your door. I've brought everything. You please give me a drop of your mercy. What else can I give you, my Lord? That's what these 4 gates are. Even if one round becomes more sincere, that is not small, that's huge. One sincere round can become the doorway to another, which becomes the doorway to the spiritual world. One honest return can take away years of mechanical bad habits. One prayerful bead can remind us that I am not alone in this practice. The holy name is Krishna. He's here, complete with his smile and his flute and his garland of fragrant flowers and bumblebees buzzing around them, intoxicated with this just amazing smell. And Krishna is there fully in his name. The holy name is Krishna, and Krishna is kinder, much kinder than my mind is restless. So tonight we've received the map. Tomorrow morning we begin the walk. And then in part 2, we'll walk all together more deeply. Walk toward the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So thank you all very much for your valuable time and your kind attention. And I look forward to seeing all of you again sometime soon. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Madana-gopāla. Would you like to take any questions? Or
yeah, if everyone has time, I have some time. As long as you want to go, it's fine with me. So we can take questions.
Sure. Do you want me to read them out from the chat, or have you got the chat open there?
I have the chat open. I tried to address some of them as I was going along. So, but maybe some of them I've not seen. So let me just go back there. Okay, here we go. Some of these are just practical ones. Okay. So like I said, okay, Romney asks about robotic mode. We talked about that. How can we stop it? We can stop it by walking through the 4 gates one by one. They're in a particular progression. When you bring in the heart into the chanting. If we do it a little bit at a time, we can do it. Otherwise, it's not easy to just say, I want to stop being a robot. It doesn't work that way. A little bit at a time. Okay. Okay. I feel so disheartened when my japa goes into diagnostics and repair. Very guilty. I didn't serve Krishna properly. This sense of remorse, you can bring it to the table. And say, Krishna, I wasted so much time. Bring it. Because it's a genuine, honest feeling. Don't deny it. And with those tears, pray to the Lord. Those are real tears, not a performance. See? The Lord appreciates those. Okay. Poppy asks, how can one change the perspective that I can chant more deeply, seriously, genuinely, once I feel better in terms of material or mental, medical, financial issues? How do we overcome these barriers because they're also happening real time. Yes, I'll address that. So, and it's a very real thing. In the larger version of this course, we address these, like I mentioned briefly, they're very heavy stuff that we go through, I mean, if we have a very difficult legal issue, if one of our family members is really going through some very difficult time health-wise, or they're on the deathbed or something of them, these are real problems. You can't just pretend that they're not there. Oh yeah, we're devotees, we're eternal beings, what does it matter? No, we can't do that. What we can do, though, is to shift our perspective. Like you said, you shift the perspective. I don't have to wait until life becomes peaceful to chant deeply. Chanting is how I will bring my troubled heart to Krishna while my life is still unresolved or still being resolved. You see, that's the new perspective. You might have seen this book, Chant and Be Happy. There's a reason why it's called Chant and Be Happy. Not be happy first and then chant. You see? Chant and you'll be happy. Of course, doesn't mean everything will be solved. The old perspective is what? That once my mind, my health, my money, emotions, once they settle, then I will chant seriously. And it might be a couple of years until that happens. But Bhakti teaches a different perspective. Because my mind and my health and my money and my emotions are disturbed, I need the holy name more urgently now, not less. I need to ground my soul more. I need the mercy of the Lord immediately, and that's available by connecting with the Lord. And connection to the Lord is available through His name. I need that even more than ever now. Of course, the barriers are real. We should not pretend it's not happening. Mental stress, medical strain, financial pressure, legal issues, family anxieties, relationships falling apart. These are not imaginary, but the mistake is to think that they make our chanting invalid, or that chanting can wait. Actually, they make chanting more honest. Sometimes our best chanting is not the chanting of someone who feels peaceful. It's the chanting of someone who's desperate. Chanting of someone who says, Krishna, I'm not okay. My mind is not okay. My mind is all over the place. My heart is heavy, Krishna. I don't even know how to chant properly today. But still today I'm coming to you. Hare Krishna. Then you chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My Lord, I'm not okay, but I'm still going to chant today. Hare Krishna. Isn't that better? That is genuine chanting. So a practical way to overcome the barrier is to stop demanding that there be a perfect inner state. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. Not in this world. That I need to be perfectly aligned before I can start chanting. Instead, begin with your actual state. Before you're around, you can say something like, my dear Krishna, today I'm carrying anxiety, I'm carrying fear, I'm tired, fatigue, pressure, career. I'm not trying to hide it from you. I'm bringing it to your lotus feet. Let me take shelter of your name as I am. Please show me how to take shelter of your lotus feet, how to take shelter of your holy name. This changes your chanting from performance into a relationship with Krishna. So these are some things that can offer. Poppy, is that okay? Are you still here? Yes. Thank you. I see you put a heart. Okay, let's see if there are other questions. Lots of questions. Or lots of comments. Meenakshi asks, can I chant and listen Kathak together? So no, you don't want to do that. When you chant, you should focus completely on the sound of the holy name. If you're chanting, you're focusing on the sound of the holy name. If you listen to Katha, then the sound of the holy name is becoming garbled up. You have to give full focus to the sound of the holy name. There should be no other sound. I mean, yes, if there are other devotees chanting Hare Krishna Japa, that's fine. If there's a tape of Prabhupada chanting japa to help you create the mood, that's also fine. Some people like it, some people don't. It's completely up to you. But don't try to now engage the mind in some other, layer. Don't engage another layer of mind. That let me hear Krishna Katha so I can visualize Krishna while I'm chanting japa. That's not how it works. That means you're not giving your full attention to the sound of the holy name. Krishna is here. His Katha, his form, everything exists in the vibration. Don't think something extra layer has to be added to it. Don't. Remove other stuff. Only focus on Krishna's holy name. Alright, Meenakshi? Alright, Sagar asks, so can we apply the same principle when we're moving around or walking or traveling? Yes, certainly. Certainly. All these same principles apply. None of these are invalid when you're walking. The same feelings can be brought. Right. Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions. Okay, Jyoti has a takeaway. My takeaway from today is seeing my japa as a personal and meaningful connection with Radha Krishna, begging for their mercy. Gate 3, heartfelt emotion. Wonderful. Thank you, Jyoti. Okay. Can we chant without beats? Yes, you can. You can certainly chant without beats. No problem. In fact, you should. You should chant 16 rounds on your beats, and then you can chant all day long whenever you can. You should, actually. Not that you can't. Sometimes someone asks, I heard that you cannot chant in the bathroom because bathroom is a contaminated place. And I told them, well, what if you die in the bathroom? What are you going to do? Actually, quite a significant percent of people die in the bathroom. Slip and fall. They hit the head on the faucet, or they had an aneurysm while sitting on the toilet. Whatever, it happens all the time. It happens. So you should be chanting in the bathroom. You don't take your beads in the bathroom. But you should chant whenever you can. And that's all the time. There's really no reason. You can be singing Hare Krishna. So singing, and if you sing nicely, it's good. If you don't sing nicely, it's also okay. Just in the shower, you can sing however, out of tune, doesn't matter. People sing and chant. Do it. Chant. Yes, SKS asks, I'm not able to do my 16 rounds now because mom needs care, help, and love. Yes. So whenever possible, do them. If you can't do them, pray to the Lord for help, and definitely be prayerful. And the Lord will give you energy, time, space, and organize some way that you can finish rounds. 16 rounds is not such a long commitment, generally speaking. But if it's not possible, then, we have to be prayerful and ask the Lord for help, for sure. Yes. R. Sharma asks, I have a bad knee. If I can't sit for too long, what other posture? Yeah, definitely walk. You can walk if that works for you. Walk while chanting japa. You can sit on a chair. You don't have to sit on the floor. There's no rules. There's no hard and fast rules. Do what works for you. Shivani Vyas. My why and urgency became stronger recently when my mom was terminally ill and left her body recently. I'm very sorry to hear that, Shivani. Before that, I was inconsistent and definitely had guilt of all or nothing. This class is invaluable. Yes, sometimes these deep events that move our heart, they can move us much closer to Krishna. Or they can move us away from Krishna, but typically if they move us close to Krishna, we become very close to Krishna. So I think that's the end of the questions in the chat. But we can now take questions in person. So we have Prem Gopal Prabhu followed by Shilen Prabhu. Please go ahead, Prem Gopal Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Gurudev.
Yes,
and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. My question is, most of the things that really disrupt my chanting I already know what they are. And can we use that first 60 seconds to say, I'm not going to think about the broken down car. I'm not going to think about somebody that is ill that is around me. Because I think that if I write it down, maybe it won't penetrate my head so quickly. And this slideshow is absolutely marvelous. I mean, I don't know who put it together, Oh, you did. Okay. So that would be my question. Can that be part of our prayer to release our mind for certain things that we definitely know are going to interrupt us?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes. Generally, we want the prayers to be more positive. I'll tell you why. When you say, I don't want to be thinking of this, you'll think of it more. Like if I tell you, Eddie Gopal, okay, I want to do your 16 rounds today, but today your assignment is you are not allowed to think of pink hippopotamuses. Now that I've given the assignment, don't think of pink hippopotamuses, even though it's a negation, all you'll see is pink hippopotamuses. Now, if I hadn't told you that, you wouldn't even see them. Actually, it's hippopotami. I don't know. Anyway, what's the plural of hippopotamus? My point is this. Yes, you can make a list. I'm not going to think of a broken down car. I'm not going to think. But a mind doesn't work very well with a negation. I'm not going to do this because you just didn't do that. You know, like when a kid is walking on the road, the mother is there, and the 5-year-old kid is walking, and the kid is walking on the road instead of the sidewalk, or the footpath for those of you in the UK. The mother says, "Don't walk on the road," but they've found, they've done studies, that it's actually more effective to tell the child, "Walk on the sidewalk." So give them a positive. You see, our mind is like a child, so give it a positive, and then it's easier. Then where else am I going to walk? Like on the grass or in the middle of the road? No. Tell them where you want to go. So similarly, if we tell the mind, instead of saying, "Don't think of this," we say, "My dear mind, today, really bring yourself to the sound. My dear heart, today really fall at the lotus feet of the Lord and beg." The positive, right? And then you can say, yeah, don't worry about other things of the world. You can put them in one basket. If you list very specific things not to think about, you will tend to think about them. So put them in a basket of generic things that, let's not go in that direction right now. Just look at the beautiful direction we're going in right now, the holy name, and just look how lovely the Lord is and how kind Prabhupada is. So you focus on the positive as a prayer. Yes, there is definitely the remorseful prayer where we're focusing on negative, in the sense, I wasted my life, useless things I did, my Lord. That's also powerful, and we should use it that way. But we don't get into too many specifics, because then the mind can go down some slippery slopes. But it's a great question, Eddie Gopal. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Shilen Prabhu, you had a comment.
I have a question and then I have a quick announcement. So sometimes when I'm having a really tough day and I don't want to chant, what helps me is putting Prabhupada on loud, chanting, and then just chanting with him. So just following his chanting. Is that acceptable?
Oh, of course. Yeah, totally.
I know you said you can have it on in the background, but
You can have it in the background. You can, because you're chanting, your focus is still on the holy name. You're producing the sound. You're chanting along with them is also okay. That's perfectly fine. We do that in ISKCON temples all over the world. Really, you turn on Prabhupada's Japa tape. It's not. It's if it works for you, it's good to do it. And especially if you feel connected, you should do it for sure. Yes. For some people, it doesn't work because they're trying to listen to their own sound, but it doesn't really matter whichever way you like. It's all good.
I also wanted to say I'm so happy that all the devotees are absolutely mind blown by your classes, including this one, the delivery, the presentation, the slides. I hope you don't mind. I want to read something out to everyone that you sent to me the other day when you were preparing for this. I'm eagerly preparing my different talks with notes and slides, hoping I can get them done before we have to fly. I labor over every word and every slide, image, writing and rewriting each sentence until it feels just right. But it's a rewarding seva to be able to express and get across what I'm feeling in my heart. And I think all the time and effort that you spend really comes across. So thank you so much. And finally, dear devotees, if you didn't know, Madana-gopāla Prabhu is coming to the UK this Friday, and he has a very packed schedule. So please come to as many of his discourses as you can. You're all welcome. If you need his schedule, please contact me. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all once again for your kind association. I hope to see many of you in person, and it's very exciting. And I hear the weather is also quite nice over there, so extra bonus. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.